Okay.
Hi, hello. Welcome to Personal Storytelling Workshop, where I share about the personal storytelling tool. The tool is a card deck inspired by the artwork of Luigi Savon, Philip Thomas, Mafalda Mondestine, and my own work. I'm using the personal storytelling tool to create opportunities for social engagement and self-inquiry in art practice. So thank you for coming. Right, so I'm gonna start with, we'll find out more as we go on about the tool, but this is a very casual workshop, as you can tell. It's not professional, and I want you to feel free and open to share your stories the same way that you would at your kitchen table with me in conversation, and hopefully it will be a very organic and gentle process. All right, so we're gonna start with, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. If you have more questions, do feel free to jump in and ask. And I'm going to then show you an example. We're gonna read a story passage, and I'm gonna just kind of sort out the storytelling part, which we all have that innate ability in us to do. And then I'm gonna open it to whoever is in the audience here. And then we'll do sessions with each of you or whoever it is, depending on who is here and how many people are here, that can determine the length of the session. So if there's nobody here and you feel like going for 20 minutes in your storytelling session, that's fine. All right. And then we will close the session and you can get further details if needed. All right. So I thought I would read a passage just from a random book and just see what comes up. So I have like this book. Let's see if I can hold something behind it. Let's see if that works. No.
No.
In front of me. Okay, that works.
There is.
I feel like many people in the Caribbean, I'm totally gone now. Many people in the Caribbean have used this book.
Nope.
You can see the condition of it.
Yes.
It's pretty like dog-eared. And so, you know, I'm just gonna choose something. It takes me back to high school. I have no idea what I'm reading. It's an anthology that was put together by Longman Caribbean, which is like a pretty popular textbook maker in Jamaica. All right, and it's compiled by Pamela Mordecai and Grace Walker Gordon. So, all right, I'm gonna choose in honor of Pamela Mordecai. I'm gonna choose a poem by her. It's called Family Story. All right, it goes. My father, fair, with his straight nose and hair, kept chickens and a goat. No country background, city-wise farming for him, a shared subsistence on enterprise. I was about to say enterprise, which I feel like is a Jamaican pronunciation. He built boats too, and houses, furniture with those fair hands, and tended cuts and bruises carefully. Never kiss ass, never owe money, never cuss, never give less than a day's work for a day's pay. All of his life, minded his coolie wife, in love to sanity, careful, then how you cross me. All right, so that's Family Story. And we're gonna pull out the cards now. All right, so this is our tool. These are our cards. So I think I'm gonna have to hold a thing behind it. Okay, let's see. How does that work? Okay. Not so effective. All right, so let me try to do it in front of me. So the tool is made up of 52 cards, and there are 12 question cards, which you can use on your own. So it's really designed, I wanted to engage with people. It was created during COVID. I wanted to talk to people or have an excuse to talk to people. And art practice was a very good way to do that. And so this started with me just having, inviting people to come and I'd ask them questions, something that I think is a very interesting thing to do to kind of build connection. And if you go through it, it is it's connected to a film I made called Voyage, which talks about all sorts of things to do with history and ecology in the Caribbean. And you can see a still behind me. And some of the images, actually all the images in the deck are from that film. And so it's really based on this concept of a journey. It's not linear. It's a lot of the images are very abstract, and some of them you can identify personified images in there. So for you, we're going to think about the story that we just read. I'm going to jump on using my phone because I think that might be easier to, I think it might be easier to kind of join that way. I'm going to add another camera. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, all right, so hopefully that works. And you can see something here. All right, so I feel like, and feel free to join, Melanie. What do you feel like that poem was about? Is anything striking?
About values.
About values, okay.
Values being inherited or not.
Yeah.
The writer seems to have pretty much understood what her father was about in terms of his values.
Right.
And it's interesting to hear how she sees her father.
Yeah.
And how she describes him and what that can tell us about her. Yeah. Much, maybe even more subtly than what she has shared about the father. For example, the way she describes his keeping chickens, or right. the type of language that he uses, which is in contrast to the type of language she uses, that kind of thing. Right. So that's why I said, yeah, probably a lot of it about values, what gets passed down, what gets rejected, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's just said in a way that I couldn't say that. So I'm glad to hear that perspective. So while you were talking, while I was just kind of picking up on the things that you mentioned, so values. So I thought, like, if I were to think of a picture of which had values in it or described values, what would that look like? And then there was this mention of the father as well. So I kind of chose this one, which makes me think, like this father is this kind of very central figure to her. I feel like the spirit of her father lives through her life. Like, as you said, like it's like her father's values kind of say a lot about her, but I feel like it's also very present for her. Like she can sometimes move between his or her own identity or story. So that made me, this image made me think of that. And I thought of this one in terms of like, when you describe values, like I think of values somehow like these things that kind of like float around us, and I don't know, they keep you kind of in check in a way, or they keep you in a sense of reality. And here we have like a kind of zoomed up version of what that might look like. Would you choose these cards, or do you want to look at some other options for how you might describe what you said about that poem?
I can't see the cards that you're talking about.
These ones here. Are you able to?
No, I can't see that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, that's good for me to know. All right, I think I need to open up the whole sharing options.
Oh, now I see. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All
Great.
right. So what I've got is all the participants.
Okay.
And so I can see your cards now.
Yeah. All right, so I think the first one I was describing to you, since I think maybe you missed me pointing to them, is this one I was thinking of as the presence of her father. I was thinking of this one as the values kind of somehow floating around, creating this kind of, I don't know, anchor, or a kind of, this is a location of this person. And then this is like a zoomed up version. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Not sure. They all look very abstract.
Yeah.
I mean, as if I could almost read anything into.
Exactly.
I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
To be absolutely honest.
All right. So shall we go into allowing you maybe to choose then? Because I made those choices. So if you were to choose something that maybe even felt like the thing that you observed in the poem, what would you choose? I'm going to go through and you can tell me. I can go as slowly as you like. And you can tell me to stop or continue or go back.
Oh, I see what that is now. Okay.
And if you want me to pull out any
Oh,
card,
go back one.
okay.
Yeah, that. Now I can see what it is. I
Mhm.
quite like it.
Okay. All right.
Because it looks as if it's the shade or shadow of the father looking at, if I put myself in the role of the daughter, it's the, I don't know, kind of like the eyes of the ancestors are upon you kind of thing.
Yeah, I love that. You know, yeah, go ahead.
That's kind of what I see with these very piercing eyes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll pull that one aside, and then let's keep going to see if there's anything else that pops out at you. And do tell me if you want to just stick with the one. If you want to just explore the one, that's fine.
I'm enjoying looking through your deck.
Kind of a little flip through, huh?
Yeah. Okay, I'll stick with the first card for now.
All right. So we had come up with a story of you said, what was it that you said, the ghost of the ancestors? No, it was something else. The presence of the ancestors.
The eyes.
The eyes of
Yeah.
the ancestors. Okay. Let me read it back. I'm going to read it while looking at this image just to see how this resonates for me. Oh gosh, did I lose my page? Yeah. All right. My father, fair with his straight nose and hair, kept chickens and a goat. No country background. City-wise farming for him. A share subsistence enterprise. He built boats too and houses, furniture with those fair hands, and tended cuts and bruises carefully. Never kiss ass, never owe money, never cuss, never give less than a day's work for a day's pay. All of his life, minded his coolie wife, in love to sanity. Careful then how you cross me. Do you still feel like that that adds or that is okay, or what you've heard is in this card? I think I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna add one. This is your card. I'm gonna add one to your card.
Okay.
And see what.
Absolutely. I was saying that I don't even know what that is. This vegetation, this vegetable matter, these leaves and stalks, it almost looks as if it's her face turned away, and the figure is on the top, makes up the top of her head,
right?
Almost as if he's on her mind. But there's definitely this idea of a what is that? Is that an okra? I don't know.
This one. I can see get okra or plantain. Let me tell you.
Under his arm, there's like a little okra that could be her jaw, and then there's I think maybe like her mouth, and then she's got a definite chin and a neck going down to the end, to the bottom right side of the card, and he's on her mind.
Okay.
I
like this is the chin.
No. Turn the card 90 degrees. Yep. At the bottom of the card. Yeah, there. That's her chin.
Oh. Okay. That's really
her
interesting.
Chin and her neck. Almost as if we're looking over her shoulder at her face.
Okay.
And he's on her mind as if almost like a hat.
That's super interesting.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I saw.
I see like a chin here. I think this is what I'm going to add, but it's also like the crook of a neck here as well, and a shoulder extending out here.
Well, that would be the neck and the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing.
This is like the head is just kind of going off.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So that really add something. Certainly for me, I've never seen these things in these cards, which I love. This is why I love doing this workshop. So I think based on that now, I feel like she's really preoccupied with maybe who her father was, and maybe kind of honoring that.
Okay.
I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I can see that. I can see that. Just from the words or from the image?
From either, from this combination of both.
Well, what I find interesting is that in contrast to the father, who is probably the most connected image on the card, she's not completely formed. So we can see the hint of a chin, a neck, her shoulder, but the rest of her is fragmented. So it looks almost as if it's coming together, but it's coming slowly together, whereas the image or the idea or the ghost of the father is pretty much complete in her head. And maybe that's what we do. We use our memories of that which came before us to build ourselves. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really
that our identity is built from our ideas of those who came before us.
I love that. I love that we got all of that from the one image on the poem. That is, yeah, that's true. And I think, well, particularly significant for this type of context, her writing in the Caribbean. I guess the forefather is always interesting and prominent as well. Okay, so I love that. And we're at 10:30. So I think we have 10 minutes. So I'm going to open this up to focus on you now. Talk about your story. Right, exactly. It says it's going to end in 10 minutes. All right. So now that we have like an idea, I'm going to pose some questions to you. Are you okay with that?
Well, I'll do my best, but if there's something I can't answer, I'll just have to say I can't answer that.
Feel free, feel free. We can skip. And if it's, if it's something you don't want to answer, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to ask you to choose 2 to 3 cards that appeal to you. Now, ideally, you would have these cards with you, but we're in a virtual world, so we'll make it work. So we're going to go through again, and we're thinking about, now that we saw how it related to something like Pamela Mordecai's story, let's think about Melanie. So like which of these cards would you kind of relate to your story? And I'm going to go through it, and you can just stop me and tell me to pull out the one that you want. Let's aim for 3 cards.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely one of the ones with the ships.
The ships, okay. Yeah. All right, so when I see that, I'll pull it out.
Okay.
Okay, here's one with a ship. That one, not so much?
No, not that one. Okay. There was another one.
There's another one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's fine.
All right, so we have 1.
I like that one.
Like this one? Okay.
I like that one, but I have no clue what it is.
Okay, all right, well, let's
But I
go.
like it.
Let's go with it.
All right, that's 3 then. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But you know, I feel like as we look at it, that's the thing with these with imagery, I guess. It's like as you look at it and you start to think about the other things, because you came up with so much for the poem. And so I think that's what's gonna happen here. All right, so we have your 3. And what would you say is the story here?
Oh. I have no idea. I'm seeing a journey, but it might just be in the person's head or in. I'm seeing a cosmic being. Definitely with the eyes. I'm seeing someone falling.
Okay. So based on what you said, we have like a journey, and then there's a cosmic being, and then someone falling. So it seems like someone here is on a journey, and this is your story. So you're on a journey, but there might be some kind of higher kind of consciousness happening, or some kind of connectedness to not just the material world. And then it's like a sense of like, maybe after reaching this kind of awareness of something more, there's like a free fall. I don't know, does that feel like your story, or is that off?
Yeah.
You touch the sky and then you're like, what next? Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Would you keep this order if you had to, if you had to, what do you call it, rearrange the story? Is this the order you would choose?
I would put the middle card at the end.
Okay.
Let's see how that looks.
So now we have you falling. So it's almost like going down and then going up, like rising.
Well, that's the question. The question is the person in the card falling down or falling up or rising? It's not clear.
This way.
Because we always assume that people fall
down
feet first?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting is so,
or are they being pulled up?
Yeah.
Towards something?
Well, this is up to you. What do you feel is happening?
I liked it the other way around. Being pulled up.
Okay. Yeah. You're being pulled up from where you were. Can't be comfortable anymore.
Right.
So you become this, or you're going towards something else, some kind of other entity that's
could be weird.
Yeah. Okay. So this seems like a really kind of like traumatic, or this is like a, I don't know, like a state of being, a very confused state of being.
Not necessarily, because I see that as hair, as Afro-descended hair. So I'm not one of those people who says, oh, anything that looks too curly must be confusing. I'm not that person. That's just regular healthy hair to me.
All right, so we have.
But people do go on journeys in their minds. I remember I was talking to what was she? She worked for a gallery. I remember talking to a woman. She worked for a gallery, and she put together. She also did Zoom things during the pandemic, where people were shut in. She would do art talks, basically into people's living rooms, about how artists would travel in their minds and It was absolutely fascinating because she did someone like Gauguin,
Yeah.
who painted all these South Sea pictures and landscapes, and how he created this whole landscape in his mind of this, I don't know if I'd call it a utopia, but somewhere where he'd rather be than in, what is that, 19th century France, right? Or she did a couple other ones, and then she was saying that, yeah, art also has the power to transport you somewhere else. You look at something and you're in the picture, you're in that experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why, for example, a lot of people have want to know what they're looking at, or they feel then uncomfortable when they're looking at like art and they don't know what's going on. So for instance, this middle picture,
I'm just gonna pause you right there, Melanie. We have 1 minute left, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, fine. We can close thoughts. I just don't want you to be cut off, so I'm gonna wrap up your thoughts, and then before that, I will say thank you for joining, and then I'll allow you to finish, and you stay on the call after or come back. Yeah.
Okay, I'll stay on.
Right,
So
ahead.
yeah, that middle picture is definitely where am I? What's going on? What am I seeing? Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Thank you. I'm gonna pause the recording, and then I will see you.